Let's go, y'all. Let's go. It's that time again. Once again, Professor Belly Bill, the Hood Post, man, you know the vibe. Let's go. I'm chill, you chill. So let's chill together. I'm just here today, y'all. It's Friday, Freestyle Friday, Shenanigans Friday. It's your story. Tell it how you want to. City, hood, click. Let's go. Once again, it's Friday. Shout out to the moderators and shout out to the Postmaster General herself, Marlena Williams and Johnny Sullivan. Good to see you guys here. DJ Vegas, what's good, man? DJ Vegas coming soon, man. I'm gonna have to go in on him, man. With my guy, right? David Clark. You know who that is, right? Big David Clark, aka the Mad Dog. It's the dog. Don't you be bar to fart. It's the Mad Dog. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Mad Dog. Not today. We're gonna talk about Moto. We're gonna get into that, man. But first, today is Friday, Freestyle Friday. I don't know who's gonna drop by or who's not gonna go, but nonetheless, we're here. We're not gonna. We're gonna keep it 100, right? Because one of the things I do is you got to be impeccable in your words. Don't take anything personal. Don't make assumptions and always do your best. That is what I wake up to. That is what I go to sleep with because that is the driving force of who I am as an individual. I don't take sides. I don't even like side betting. I don't do side betting. You know what I mean? I'm straight down the middle. The middle course is where I'm at. I've always been able to function and keep my balance in life by being taking the middle course, you know. And I was talking to the Postmaster General the other day, and I was also explaining to her that there are 12 months in a year, 365 days in a year, and also 52 weeks in a year. It's impossible. I don't care what the circumstances are. The universe won't allow it for you to hear no every day. So if you're going up, getting up, and being in the pursuit of those things that you want to acquire and have in life, there is nothing standing in that way of you having everything you want and desire in your life. See, because we fashion this life with our own two hands. And whatever it is, you made it happen. Each and every one of us, we wake up with a choice. That's how we do every day. See, because once I wake up, anything in my life, anything else in my life can be negotiated. And that's a fact. So here we have Freestyle Friday. Shout out to Perlona. Shout out for her. How you doing, Perlona? You are a moderator. And Pete was good. You know, we hear this. This is the MIP where we come make it plain. We have to make it plain because if we don't make it plain, people may disappoint it to us. So we don't want to not make it plain. But one of my favorite penologies, and I guess that might be a made up word, but I'm talking about the penal system, the incarceration, or things that they use to take you away from your circumstances, your actual habitat. See, because God didn't create you to be in a cage. He created you to be in an open environment. You should never accept the assistance of being a accept the existence of being in a cage, even if that cage is painted of solid gold. See, because God created each and every one of us to be in an open environment. This is everything that we come to as far as within this country and how they criminalize everything we do, but yet there are two separate rules. There's the rules for the black people, and there's rules for, let's say, rich people. Not necessarily white people, but even poor white people sometimes wind up in bad circumstances based on they don't have the money to attain the right legal defense. But anyway, what I would like to say, if you don't like the the slipshod, the shabby, the shoddy, the inferior, depressing customer service, if you don't like the inferior, depressing customer service of jailhouse and courtrooms and prisons, if you don't like the jailhouse, courtrooms, and prisons, this is what I want you to think about. Then don't patronize them. Don't patronize them. In other words, those places are businesses. They're not really to correct you. There's no really rehabilitation there. They are actual businesses. And if you don't like a business, if they ain't treating you right, if they're not treating you right, certain businesses, right? If they're not treating you right, then you're a fool to go back there. And last part I want to put on that, that's not no hocus pocus. That's just real talk. I'm just being 100% factual and trying to get you put it. And I'm not trying to make this minuscule. What I am trying to do, and I'm not trying to make this funny, but what I am trying to convey to you, my Damu's Keyways, is that we take some of the minusculous things in the society or in our culture and we turn it into a mountain. And then you'll wind up spending the rest of your entire your life behind a wall in a cage. God never created you to be in a cage. He created you to be in an open environment. You should never accept the existence of being in a cage, even if he painted of solid gold. I want you to just hang on to those words for a moment and think about just how powerful a people we would be if we didn't have to get things the hard way. When I say hard way, like the education system that we were introduced to and the religious system we were introduced to were all geared towards keeping us in a certain way of life. It's social conditioning. I'm speaking about social conditioning. We were social conditioned to be ninjas. God made us black man and black woman, but America made you a ninja. And you not only did they make you that, you accepted that because not only you call yourself that, you call everybody around you that. You even now call the sisters that. The sisters are out there saying bro, bruh, ninja, dude, you know. You don't know where none of this stuff. It's all like it's coming from an androgynous space. Like there's no really like there's no man and there's woman. It's just androgynous. You really don't understand that people really is beginning to identify with specific genders or they got so many different genders now that it's just man, they're just out there, you know. And I'm not knocking them, but I'm not joining them either. That's just what I'm not doing. You know what I mean? And sometimes I got to come in here and explain things in a way that's kind, loving, have the right tonality, the right phraseology, because there's so many people in our society, and I'm talking about the agent provocateurs. They don't have the modus operandi. Their modus operandi is to hinder you based on societal standards. In other words, they place parameters and they use them to calibrate it to put you in a specific way of thinking or walk of life. Just because you see everybody doing something don't make it right. Most of the indoctrination to the Damu and Kiwe started in junior high. Most of it. There was a little bit of it maybe in elementary, but for the most part, we took on these personas in junior high, and then it grew like a cancer from there to high school until we came out into the adult world. And then once you got an adult world, you realized that there was not, you seen a lot of hope and despair, or what you thought was hope and despair. Please, man, when you guys come up here, press them like buttons, hit the subscribe, click the notification bell. Because what I like to say, this is a teaching moment. And I want you to get on the bus and let me take you to school. And there comes a time in life when you finally surrender your life and open up to everything that's meant for you. But you have to surrender to that, you to that spirit, the true spirit itself. You know what I mean? Because we lack a generosity of spirit. We don't have in an abundance of it because we're the spirit that we lend our souls to is an altered one, something constructed by mankind himself. Because everything we know about, let's say, about religion, about the way of life, how religion supposed to be, we learned it from another man. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm just saying just be careful. What is the person that's introducing you to this religion or introducing you to this way of life? What is their ultimate goal? What is their agenda? Because man is deceptive. Man was created in deception. Make no mistake about it. Just think about everybody that you ever have to deal with, everybody you came up with. At some point, they revealed to you some type of deception. And I'm not saying that everything is 100%. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just simply explaining to you that sometimes things happen, and it's a self-indulging thing. In other words, they're gonna save the self and throw you to the wolves. But anyway, let me get back to what I was thinking about. My point. My point was, it happens. There is more to freeing yourself and having just a clear frequency on where you want to go in life and how you want to attain life and the life you want, desire. Now, I don't want to seem like I'm rambling or anything, but I think that in this, I get so passionate about this stuff. Maybe at times I feel like my boy Bam, man. I want to, break down some things. Hey, hello, God's property. Kicking those truths tonight, preach. Right on, Michelle. How are you? Oh, let's see. Let me see who's all in the chat. Oh man, I got my man. Where you got? Everybody's here. G Foster is here. God's property here. Chris Irvin is here. DJ Vegas. Let's see. Rich is here. Perlona's here. I appreciate you guys. How you guys come and just keep coming into the chat. And listening sometimes and getting some understanding, some clarification. You know what I mean? Because the deck is so stacked against us. Where do we go? What do we really do? You know what I mean? Because we're so divided. We divided by Damu, Kiwe, Vice Lord, Disciple, Christian, Muslim, some more Science Temple, Hebrew Israelite. There's so many things that divide us, you know, but yet we seem to all think we have the truth one way or the other, you know. I have literally removed myself from any of those doctrines, and I just choose to just be who I am, you know. I don't need no special type of religious title or, you know, even though I call myself Professor Melly Male, you know, I mean, you know, am I really a professor? I don't know. That's for the people that's watching and listening to determine all that. That's, you don't necessarily have to be. Right on, Michelle. I appreciate that. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. That's what y'all do. So, what do you want to talk about? Dirty weather? 916. What's going on, Demon? The universal student. That I am, bro. Universal student. Deep within my thoughts. Speak to him, Herb. El Gumbo. I like that. El Gumbo. Gumbo has many ingredients. All of them pretty good, you know. But what did you guys think about my favorite penology philosophy that I recited? You know, something I thought about years ago when I was studying. When I had time to study, I had so much time on my hand back then to study. You know, now I have to pick and choose and do certain things to plan out space for me to study. You know, and that's why I'm in here freestyling tonight because I'm just open up the mic and open up the camera and set up the app and everything with the StreamYard, put a picture up there and just open it up. It wasn't really nothing planned, but I know that I'm moved by the spirit, you know, that because I freed myself ancestral trauma and I mastered my soul lessons and I cultivated space for the abundance to flow. That's what I did do. I am not letting nobody else's mind stop me from what I need to do. What's up, JS? How you doing, man? So let's get on it. What you guys think about the Marcellus series? You know, we still got one more part left. I think that's gonna be phenomenal. It is phenomenal. I already listened to it, and because he get into the reason why the CC rider was formulated, but now it's in the prison system. You know what I mean? And how it was going to mesh in jail with the Blue Notes being there, the CCO. What's going on, bro? With the John Ma. Then you had the Melendez is what he said, and then he talked about after going in there, he went in there with a life sentence, right? And possibly it was like 17 to life, I believe. He wound up doing 31 years on a 17 to life. And when he came out, he was really surprised on how things had changed. The how everything was now that used to be black was now operated and owned by the Hispanic people. You know, they was pretty much running the stores, running the markets, running the DMV and all Social Security office because he had to come back after being on 31 years. He had to come back and sign back up because you're not in nobody's system at that point. Only system you're in is to the state of California, the Department of Corrections. Right on, bro. Salam. Salam, bro. And so he was just taking in everything. You know what I mean? He explained all that in part four. I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys, and give it all away. But anyway, you guys stay tuned for that. Rashad, salute to my brother from Louisville, Kentucky. Right on, man. I've been to Louisville, man. Too cold for me. Too cold for me. G. Foster, I never heard him say it, but a lot of old cats they gave what they gave me the game and who I got it from. Right? What do you mean, G. Foster? You mean who gave you the game or how you got it? It's not what you do. It's not what you get from the game. It's how do you utilize it? How do it make you a better individual when somebody give you the game? So I guess God's property, keep it corrupt. Let's get them likes up. Yeah, see, follow them God's property. She got the right route. Yeah, so been dialoguing with quite a few people and got some deals going. Working on that. Got some interviews coming up tomorrow. I think they're going to be some interesting interviews. It's going to be a. I'm going to be able to expand in the sense of the people that I'm interviewing, and not necessarily focus on the destructive part, but focus on the how do we repair? How do we get what we know as OGs or triple OGs or whatever, however you guys choose to label that, how we get those guys to not have conflict avoidance. Conflict avoidance is when people just avoid it. You know what I mean? But they was the one that created it in the initial, but now they living okay. Their lives is okay. You know what I mean? They got cars, they got jobs, they got wives or whatever. But now they rather just turn their back to it, turn a blind eye to it, and not address any of the things that happen in their communities around their neighborhoods. Not that they may like they're exempt from it, which is funny in itself. Shout out to my guy, man. I gotta shout him out, man. My guy, man, out there. He know who he is. Junebug, West B. He from that WB, West Boulevard, man. Shout out to him, man. We chopped it up. I ran into him today. And sometimes, a lot of times when I'm out and about, I run into different people and they come up to me and we start talking and we start building. We automatically just start building. Shout out to Dupree, man. Another guy, positive guy that's out there doing the work. Dupree Hall, he got multiple jobs. He's always looking for talent. He's always looking for other entrepreneurs that want a partnership with him to be part of the commercial building. He does commercial buildings and commercial construction and all this stuff. And a lot of times he have a lot of heavy jobs that he need other people who have expertise in certain areas, whether it's HVAC, whether it's framing, drywalling, painting, cement, whatever, electrical. All those things are needed when you building a construction site or constructing a building. So shout out to Dupree. Dupree Hall, man, you want to drop your phone number in there. I know, I can't do it from right here, but man, put it in there, brother, where they can contact you at, man. Drop it in there, man, because I know you always need he's a busy man. Anybody needing a job, y'all tap in with Dupree Hall. Very good brother. Very good brother. Yeah, so there's that. Like I say, man, we got to be impeccable. That's what it's about, and that's one of the main reasons why I don't get into profanity. I know a lot of people. I see a lot of people on the internet. They be, they most of what comes from them is profanity. I mean, not my thing, but that's their thing. And you can't tell people how to do their thing, right? I think it's just not productive in my point, from my perspective. Building an airplane while we fly it. That's it. Building an airplane while we fly it. That's because we understand, overstand, and understand. Postmaster General, right? El Cinco, what's happening? Yeah, so growing up, during that time was quite interesting. Very interesting. So any questions? Anybody got any questions on the history? Do I got any Venice stories? Yeah, I do, but I gotta find a way to tell it. Gotta find a way to tell it. It's not necessarily uh, PG, if you get what I mean. It's not PG. But I do know that, let me say this. My homie Duran, Stan Muhammad, they grew up in my neighborhood on Willow Street, across the street from Doug Norwood, Chester Norwood, Gregory Norwood, Pee Wee Norwood. I appreciate that, man. It's levels. It's definitely levels, man. It's community of self, man. The process of community of self. How do we really see the self? What do we want the self to be? You know what I mean? Because we're in control of this. You know, you're in control of your circumstances. We wake up with a chance and a choice each day, right? But anyway, back to Stan and Duran. They grew up on Willow, right? And they moved to Venice, and they had already had the tools, the mindset, you know, the graveyard disposition with a tombstone mindset. They learned that in Compton. They had graveyard dispositions with tombstone mindsets, and they took it out to the Venice. But eventually, I don't know if Stan got a life sentence. No, not Stan, but Duran. I think Duran is serving a life sentence. I'm not really sure of how much time, but I know it was a lengthy time. And Brother Stan, what we all know as Stan Muhammad now, he's a minister, a captain, or something in the Nation of Islam. So he evolved. Yeah, right on God's property. Get that Dupree. Yeah, he evolved into a great man and a student of Minister Farrakhan, and he was able to get rid of the coat of indoctrination that was handed to him through. I guess we all went to Francis Willard because of the neighborhood we lived in right there in Compton. The elementary school was on the back side of our neighborhood was Francis Willard, so that's where the indoctrination started for our tribes over in that area. Yeah, Too Sweet, still around. Too Sweet, man. Big Jesse. Nah, Jesse not around, bro. He was a good guy too. Yeah. Is Dupree still in there? Yeah. Yeah, so we all went to that school, and Stanley Duran wound up moving out there to Venice. And they was, like I said, they had tombstone mindsets and graveyard dispositions when they left Compton and went out there. So I can imagine what they introduced them cats. Yeah, yeah, Dupree. I think she asked for the number. I'm not for sure. So yeah, like I say, they was already tooled up and equipped for that, whatever that circumstance was out there in Venice. So yeah, shout out to my homies though. Shout out to them. Shout out to for Stan Muhammad for becoming a better man and just picking a way of life that was conducive to him and his family, and his children are well mannered, well groomed, raised upright, maintained, manicured. That's one thing you can respect about the Nation of Islam. Is that the let's see, not I want to go to Prophet Muhammad, but Prophet Muhammad got Elijah Poole, which is Elijah Muhammad, and put whatever he put into that man, he took the worst of the worst. He took the drunks, the pimps, the prostitutes, the players, the thieves, the robbers, the killers, and made them all stand up right and made them all gain self-respect and made them all just impeccable people. When you saw them doing, I mean, during that time, because I come up in the '60s, of course, and when you saw them, they was always just the strongest people, you know what I mean, with the suits and the ties, and the sisters was always covered up and dressed, you know what I mean, not showing too much, disrespecting themselves. So you have to respect anybody who can take a group of people and put whatever he put into them through the words of the Quran, and also use what was it, theology of time, when he talked about the Yakub theory and how he talked about how Yakub, who was a mad scientist off the island of Pekmos, he experimented with the genes and he actually created the white man. He took that whole story and flipped it. He flipped it in a way that he made you up here and made them down there. So what he did, the way he phrased it, he gave you somebody to look down on versus them looking down on you. You know what I mean? He flipped the roles is what he did. And he did it in such an elegant and unique way, right? And because if you read that story about Yakub, the big head scientist, and how he experimented with the genes, and how, because he said he made you the mother and the father of creation. You are the maintainers, the makers, the creators of creation. You are the cream of the crop. And when he explained that, it just was amazing. You know what I mean? Because if you go back and you look at how the process of life come about, shout out to Bam, how life starts, right? Life there's over anywhere from 2 million to 20 million live living organisms in one single drop of sperm. One single drop, right? Flowing through the fallopian tube. Only out of that 2 to 20 million, maybe 1,500 makes it to the actual adduct wall, right? And I'm talking about life, right? Because this is a race, this is a competition. That's what you guys don't get. That this actually, the word race, mean literally just that. This is a competition. And you got here based on the competition. You going through the fallopian tube racing, trying to become life, trying to get outside the womb, swimming, and only one actually penetrated the egg and became life. And when you became life, that means that you beat out that 20 million or that 2 million or 5 million, whatever it was, other live living. That made you the strongest, the best out of that circumstance. And you became life. So you come here winning. You didn't come here. There's no such thing as a born loser. How can you be a born loser if you beat out 20 million live living organisms and you became the only one to become life out of that circumstance? Just think about that, how that process took about. Because the creator is so powerful. He spared you the moment. He didn't want you to realize how your arms came together, your head and nose and all this. He spared you all that. You just know when you came bursting out, you was like Rick James. I'm busting out on smell seven funk, right? But here's what happened. You got here, right? And the people that had control of the education, the people that had control of the religion. The people had control of the judicial system. They marginalized. They put their own societal issues on you because they marginalized, underestimated, undervalued you based on skin color. But yet you come here winning. You're a winner. 1968, two of the best things that ever happened. Impressions, James Brown. James Brown say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Impressions said, you a winner. And don't let nobody else mind get in your way. Let feeble mind get in your way. See, we didn't need Al Sharpton. We didn't need Ralph Abernathy. We didn't need Jesse Jackson. We didn't need Andrew Young. We didn't even need Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King realized that he had been outwitted, outmaneuvered, outflanked, flim flam, swindled, bamboozled. He realized that. This is the reason why he was assassinated. Because he understood there was something that came into his mind and into his physical, into his understanding that where they led him to believe that the desegregation for us to migrate into this overall melting pot, so to speak, was going to be a better set of circumstances. The Bill of Rights, 1965, also allowed our sisters to become independent based on social assistance. But the social assistance was only provided to them based on they had to shut their man down and not be, you know what I mean, sneak him around and not necessarily be, you know what I mean, now they in charge and all this stuff. But that's not the natural position of a woman that's being in charge. Your women are helpmates. But I don't want to get too far off into that. But you being a winner, let's go back to that. When you got here, everything else became learned behavior. So why did you learn to do bad? Why didn't you just learn to do good, right? How did we become? Because you didn't come here. You wasn't born to be a gangbanger. You wasn't born to be a criminal. You weren't born to be nothing. Because remember, the process of life, the natural order thing, the universal principle. Get on the bus and let me take you to school. Because this is deep. The universal process of life brought you here as a winner. Just think about it. There were 20 million live organisms in one single drop of sperm. But yet, only one made it. That's me, you. That's God's property. Devon Cutmore, Marlena Williams, Cynthia Nunn, Michelle, Demon, Big Devil. Look at Big Devil. 20 years. He got 20 years in on his job. Locomotive engineer, diesel mechanic. He got so many trades under his belt at that job, makes him a very, very, very knowledgeable man. Much needed. Much needed. That's what he came here to win. See, that's the winning. He found his way back to winning. See, after being lost, like myself, we all got lost because we come here winning, then we get lost, then we find ourselves back to the winner's circle. Like locals say, the winner's circle, right? We have to find our way back to the winner's circle. But how did we get derailed though? How did we get detached? Because we come here winning. That was on purpose. That was on purpose. Trust and believe that. Get on the bus. Let me take you to school. I think I should start preaching. Huh? I should start preaching. That's me. That's funny though. Somebody told me that at one time. You know what I mean? That's funny to me though. No, that's gangster. That is gangster, homie. See, because what you gotta understand is that the Dark Ages, right? Let's go back to the Dark Ages when Constantinople and in the conference and all this stuff came together. When they wanted to change the history, when they wanted to shake the world up, when they wanted to make you become subservient to them. In other words, they go up here and you go down there. But Elijah Muhammad was smart enough to change that, to put you up here and put them down there and see how they like it. You know what I mean? Because you remember the Nation of Islam was calling them devils, demons, and all pigs and all kinds of stuff. It was hard. It was hard on them. You know what I mean? Rightfully so, though, right? So that's just how that worked. But I just want you to think about that. You know what I mean? Think about what I'm telling you. That this stuff is like the spook is set by the door. If he hadn't came and told us all them secrets, self-esteem, right, brother? Self-esteem. So when we learn to win, we become better at it than anybody. And they already know that because they wouldn't have been so hell bent on keeping us out of football, baseball, basketball, track and field, everyday activity. They was hell bent on that because they already knew once you got it, you gonna take it over because you a winner. You were designed to win. And I'm not saying they weren't, but what I am saying, based on Elijah Muhammad, if he's saying that you the makers and the owners of the heaven and earth, in the Yakub, based on the Yakub theory that he created them, that makes you the natural man and woman. What does that make them? Think about it. What does that make them? If you the natural man and woman, and my brown brothers and sisters love them, but they don't even realize that Spanish is European. It's because Cortez came over, he conquered the Aztec, he conquered the Mayans and the Incas and all these different people, right? Who were native to this land. There was no such thing as no Mexican until after the 1500s. But yet, a great percentage of them rather go when they're applying for things because they playing the game. They want to win too. It's a race, right? It's a competition. So when they fill out their application, they go down, fill out the application, particular jobs, whatever. What they write? They don't say Mexican. They don't even put Hispanic. They put white because that's a shoe in, right? Can't blame them, but we do have to educate them, make them understand that we have more in common than we do not in common, based on the oppression. Like I said, if you don't like the Shah, the shabby, the shoddy, the inferior, depressing customer service that you get from prison and courtrooms and jailhouse and all that stuff, you know, don't patronize them. And I'm talking to the young people. Don't patronize those businesses because those things are businesses. They are businesses, right? When anytime you sign your name on a ticket, you signing a contract with the state of California to do business with them. When you sign your name on that PSI or that pre-citizen report or that probation report, or whatever you sign your name on. You signing a contract to do business with them people. Now watch this. Melvin Gibson, without prejudice, dash 101. Bam. I can sign my name, but if I put that with it, without prejudice, dash 101, you guys don't even know what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm signing this under duress because I'm in a threatening situation. My livelihood is being threatened, and I'm not signing this under my own accord. I'm signing this under duress. Go read the book. It says without prejudice, dash 101. I wish I would have brought it with me. I'll show it to you. Cracking the code. Uh, I think it's volume 4 or 3, where it talks about this one guy, right? He goes in the court, and the judge asks him, "What is your name?" And the guy looks up and say, "What is not my name?" The judge said, "What is your name?" He said, "What is not my name?" He said, "Listen, son, I'm not here to play games with you. State your name." He said, "Well, I'm known by many things. My mom and dad called me son, and my dog called me Wolf." This is what it is, because see, this guy right here, he understood what his rights were, right? And what he was doing was he went back not to common law, but he went back to the universal law, the law of the land. Crystal, how you doing today? And he understood it, the law as written in the 1700s. That is the natural living man, not the straw man. See, because when you go anything, if you go look on your driver license, your social security, your birth stick, your name is spelled in capital letters. That makes you a corporation. Being that you're a corporation, your government has power against you. When the moment you're born, that's why you go look in the right hand corner under the seal, your birth certificate, you're gonna see a group of numbers. Those group of numbers represented a banking system. Those numbers are where they borrowed against you. This is how devious your government is. But don't mind me, I'm just watching. Don't mind me, I'm just watching. I'm just, I guess some black guy that decide to read a couple of books and get some understanding and get some clarification, begin to understand and overstand. See, there are so many things that this society are using against us as weapons, measuring sticks to undermine us, and we have no idea. Like God's properties say, stay woke. That's the book. Who is your straw man? Without prejudice. Dash 101. You can actually, you know what you're doing. You can go own your own name, and then it become your legal property. But it's a process to go through all that, and it's like it's really a lot of paperwork. And once that, anybody, good evening, how you doing, Chris? Anybody to use your name without your permission, you have the right to sue them. And you can use the state of California, the Treasury of California, as your fiduciary to collect all debts. It's deep, man. I'm telling you, it's deep. I'm gonna break that book out, man. That book costs about $500. I got a copy, but I get so wrapped up in this trying to fix this menticide that exists in the gang culture that I can't even teach that to teach that unwinding and unraveling that yarn that's wind up on that ball. I could only teach that here and there because the, our people are so engrossed in this gang culture. They believe that's the driving force or the ethnic identity of our people. And we can't decide simple things like, hey, I don't want to be a Crip. I don't want to be a Blood. God intended me to be a great deal more. I wasn't born neither one of those things. I woke up one day and chose to be that. I let somebody else's thinking get in my way. Nah, that's what happened. You let somebody else's thinking get in your way. Right on Kevin's Clubhouse, room 818. How do you allow somebody else's thinking get in your way? Again, just because you see everybody doing something, don't make it correct. I'm teaching some good stuff to y'all, right? And not one person don't think it's worthy of $1. How about that? See, you want everything. You guys want to hear this stuff and want to know this stuff. That's why I had to pull back on certain things and just like teaspoon feed you on it. Because if I gave you get gulps of it and boom, and just gave it to you, I mean, that's what I really want to do. But you may reject it totally then. But I can only teaspoon feed you here and there while giving you the other side. Like there's a lot of channels they're going to focus on strictly just gang culture, gang history, gang violence. But what about the conflict resolution? What about the conflict avoidance? What about the fact that a lot of the guys are empathetic in the sense that they don't want to go correct or right the ship in the wrongs and atrocities that they committed in our communities. They don't want to have nothing to do with it. They don't want to have nothing to do with you. Yeah, everything is numbers. This is why I'm a component of science, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, those five subjects. Master those. Well, if you just master the mathematical part and the science part, you'll be okay. You'll be phenomenal, right? That was times when I had to just dumb myself down in order to fit in the circle. But at the same time, I was very watchful, very calculating individual, and understood that I had to be lucky every day. Law enforcement had to be lucky one time. How can you win at those odds? So you make adjustments, and then you begin to not let nothing influence your thought. You adapt, right? You don't let nothing influence that because you know that if you continue down that path, the graveyard is full of tough guys. The graveyard is full of guys like the bully, Raymond Washington, Tookie, Puddin, Bartender, Tam, Salty. Must I go on? Full of them. If that's the way you want to go, then so be it. Shout out to King Mike Marks. What's that, baby? The emotional guys. Now you gotta always think about this, bro. You gotta intellectually respond, never emotionally react. Because if you emotionally react, you use the ability of reasoning. You lose the ability to communicate. You lose the ability to actually fix the circumstance because you act emotionally. It ain't the fact people don't understand. It ain't the fact they don't think. Problem is they don't know what thinking is because they equate it with emotions. And when something becomes emotionalized, it becomes reactionary. And reactionary usually don't end with the best of results. You usually don't get great outcomes with that. But I digress. I digress. Hey, I'm here, I'm chilling, you chilling, so let's chill together. That's how I see it. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy this life. Let's enjoy whatever life that we have left on this planet. Let's live it out in a way that we're gonna be okay and not be triggered. Be aware of the triggering that occur in our communities of by individuals that's suffer from being information poor and information malnutrition. A fool and his money will soon depart. That's right. I just used you there just a minute ago, the spook that sat by the door. Money, the thing about money, right? The word for money is not in its possession, but in its use. It's how you use it. See, money has two purposes. It either affords you to enjoy the things you love to do, or you can pay the people to do the things you don't want to do. That's it. But in most cases, people are using money for leverage. They're using money to undermine, or they're using money to bring harm to you based on money. Money. But fools and money do line up. Trust me. Yeah, you're right, Kevin. They plenty of them. They stacked up over there like sardine, bro. Who wants to spend the rest of their life living in a bathroom? Once again, shout out to Junebug from West Boulevard, man. We had a great conversation today in Walmart. Good brother. Good brother. Hopefully, I can get him on here because he can expound on some things. You know what I mean? It's just on a personal man level, not necessarily. He don't have to even talk about game, man. As far as I'm concerned, if he don't want to talk about the West Boulevards, I'm okay with that. I think that he's attained enough knowledge. Hey now, okay, he's attained enough knowledge and information to elaborate and expound on subject matters that is pointed towards blackness, making better black people. So we're gonna leave the door open for him. Gonna leave the door open for Junebug out of West B. Man, I used to love them. I see them out there with them West Blueborn jackets on. Sort of, it's like my marathon jacket with the leather sleeves and what is that? That kind of like that wool in the middle. Yeah. But nonetheless, it's been fun. I appreciate you guys for stopping by, dropping by the mail room, and being part of this. this monologue, and hopefully you guys got something from it. We'll in the future we'll teach more on the straw man and the line breathing man. We'll teach more on that. We'll also teach more on the Yakub theory, and we'll teach on more about that you was born in the best of circumstances. You came here winning. Anything else you know, it was learned behavior. But you can change that learned behavior because all you got to do is take the lies out and put the truth back in and go from there, man. The plane is up in the air. Landing gears up. It's up to you. Oh, you just knocked my phone down. I'm taking your table. How about that? But anyway, so it's been good. I appreciate you guys. So you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll be out doing our thing. Appreciate everyone. Be good, be safe, and most of all, be well. Shout out to the Postmaster General, King Mike, Michelle, Terrell, Demon G. Foster, Spook Sweat by the Door, Matthew, Crystal, God's Property, of course, Kevin's Clubhouse, King Mike Marks, of course, and we are gone. Everybody. Marlena Williams, Postmaster General, go ahead and lock the door. We gone.